Hello everyone. In this video we will learn about process scheduling. So what is process scheduling? So before going to discuss about process scheduling, first we need to know about what is process. A process is a program under execution. So this process is not same as the program code because it is lot more than the program code. So different states which are used to represent the processes in the operating system is as shown in the figure. So this is the life cycle of process. So here we have 5 different states are there. So what are the 5 different states mean? One is new state, another one is ready state, waiting state, running state and terminated state. So here based on the operation, the process is moved from one state to the another state. That means initially the process is in newborn state, new state. When it is admitted, then immediately it will move to the ready state. And whenever the scheduler dispatch is there, then immediately from ready state to running state, it will move to the running state. And after completion of the execution, it simply terminate the process. So while running the process or while running the program, if any interruption is occurred, interruption means any break, any problem will occur, simply the process is changed from running state to ready state. Otherwise, sometimes any IO or event wait operations will be there. So it needs to wait for some time. So at that particular time, the process will change it from running state to the waiting state. Once the IO or event completion, then immediately it will change it from waiting state to ready state. So again due to the dispatch of the scheduler, it will change it from ready state to the running state. So like this, the process will be changed from one state to the another state. So this is about the life cycle of the process, very important question. And the main objective of multi-programming is have some processes running at all time. So this is the main objective of the multi-programming. So what is the main objective of time sharing? So the main objective of multi-programming is to run the processes at all time. So the main objective of time sharing is to switch the CPU among processes so frequently that users can interact with each program while it is running. So while it is running, the time sharing is to switch the CPU among processes. So it will switch the CPU among the processes. That means from one process to the another process. So that is the main objective of the time sharing. To meet these objectives, that means to meet the multi-programming and to meet the time sharing, the process scheduler selects an available process for program execution on the CPU. So to meet these two main important objectives, that is the multi-programming and for time sharing. So for single processor system, so single processor system means only the system consisting of one processor. There will never be more than one running process. So if we consider a processor system, single processor system means the system consisting of only one processor. So it is mainly used for running one process at a time. So for a single process system, we will run only one process at a time. If there are more processes, then the rest will have to wait. So what happen if it is a single processor system? At a time we will run only one process. Then what about the remaining processes? So the remaining processes will have to wait for some time. That will be in the resting position or that will be in the waiting position. So here an important thing is there. So what is that mean? Job queue. So what is this job queue? As a processes enter the system, they are put into the job queue, and which consists of all the processes in the system. That means in the system we have a more number of processes are there, but not a single process. That means we need to execute more number of processes at a time. So that's why we need to put all the processes into the job queue. So what is the purpose of this? So what is the purpose of this mean? When the processes are ready and waiting for the execution, then we need to put the processes into the ready queue. So queue means first in first out manner. So whatever the process is entered into the system, so that process will execute first. So whenever all the processors are entered in the system, then we immediately put all the processors into the job queue. Then when the ready queue is used, so ready queue is used when the processes are ready and waiting for the execution. So here we will discuss about the process scheduling. So what is this process scheduling? When it is required. So when it is required mean when there are two or more runnable process, then it is decided by the operating system which one to run first. Then it is referred to as process scheduling. So what it means? When we have two or more runnable process are there. So two or more runnable processes are there. Then the operating system will decide which process will execute first, which process will execute or run first. So for giving the reference for execution of the process, this process scheduling is used. So here we are using different type of scheduling algorithms. A scheduler is used to make decisions by using some scheduling algorithms. So we have different type of scheduling algorithms are there. So those scheduling algorithms are used to make the decisions, so which process will execute first or which process will run first. So that will be decided by the scheduler. To make good scheduling algorithm, so to make the good decisions, the scheduling algorithm is based on following some criteria. So to make the good decision, because we have n number of processes are there. So from that n number of processes, which process will execute first? So that will be taken, means that decision will be taken by the schedulers. So by using various scheduling algorithms. So what is the main criteria used in scheduling algorithms mean? First one is CPU utilization, throughput, turnaround time, waiting time, response time. So by using these criteria, CPU utilization, throughput, turnaround time, waiting time and response time. So by using these criteria, means by using these criteria, the scheduling algorithm is used to, various scheduling algorithms are used to take the good decisions for execution of the process. CPU scheduling decisions may take place under the following four circumstances. So what are the four circumstances mean? First one is running to waiting state, running to ready state, ready to waiting state and termination state. So in the first slide only we discussed different type of, means different states are there while executing the process. So while running the process, so we have 5 different states are there: newborn state, ready state, running state, waiting state and terminating state. So here the CPU scheduling decisions may take place under these 4 circumstances. So what are the 4 circumstances? One is the process will move from running state to waiting state. That is the first one. And second one is from running state to ready state. That is one case. and third one is ready state to waiting state, and finally move to the termination state. So termination means the end of the execution of process. So these are the four circumstances considered while taking the decisions by using CPU scheduling algorithms. So the CPU scheduling algorithms are of two types. So what are the two types of CPU scheduling algorithms? One is preemptive scheduling algorithm and second one is non-preemptive scheduling algorithms. So preemptive scheduling algorithms means whenever one process is under execution. So due to some reasons we need to terminate that process and we need to start another process. For that purpose these preemptive scheduling algorithms are used. Non-preemptive means the process means the working or the execution of complete process will take place. So there is no interruption while executing the process. So non-preemptive is like that. So we have two different type of scheduling algorithms are there. One is a preemptive scheduling algorithm and the other one is non-preemptive scheduling algorithm. So based on the decisions, the preemptive scheduling algorithms are of different types and non-preemptive scheduling algorithms are also different types.